Today, SUVs are the bomb. They've taken over roads worldwide. People love them, and it's easy to see why. They have excellent capabilities for off-road adventures, towing, and people capacity. We've seen countless beautiful ones over the years, and some dear to our hearts that have been cut from production. Looking back at the models from the past, here are 10 discontinued SUVs that everyone wants to see back. Starting the list at number 10, we have the Chevrolet Blazer. Also known as the GMC Jimmy, the Chevy Blazer is one of the best-known US-made SUVs to date. Sadly, it hasn't been around for quite some time. The Blazer first appeared in 1969 and finally got axed in 1995 when it was renamed the Tahoe. It was simply a victim of new corporate strategy, which is an anticlimactic end for such a beloved nameplate. Of course, we now have the Chevy Tahoe and the GMC Yukon, but the second-generation Blazer, which lasted for almost 20 years, is still sorely missed. The Blazer simply had that X factor that successors lack. It's similar in comparison to Ford's Bronco and Expedition. Now, I know that the Blazer has made its comeback for my 2019, but that's not the Blazer I was referring to. The new model might be sporty and plushy, but aside from the name, it doesn't have anything to do with its iconic predecessor. Number 9, the Land Rover Defender. The history of the Defender started out of necessity due to the after-war shortages in Great Britain. Using military Jeeps just wasn't enough, so Rover started producing the capable and compact Land Rover in 1948. With its numerous qualities, small weight, and off-road capabilities, the Land Rover soon became the ultimate off-road SUV, capable of crossing deserts, jungles, and all kinds of rough terrain. The company produced it in numerous variants. In the last few years, despite the popularity of the Defender, it was obvious that its days were numbered. The modern safety and environmental standards made the 70-year-old model obsolete. Land Rover didn't have any choice but to retire the old model and announce a new one. They revealed the Defender concept, but they have yet to present the final production version. Anxious drivers can only hope that it will be a true Defender, not only with the character design, but also with the soul of the old legendary model. Number 8, the Toyota FJ Cruiser. The FJ Cruiser officially bit the dust in 2014, but during its time, it was glorious. Toyota's FJ Cruiser was adventure-ready, uniquely designed, and individually unique. It was retro-styled and fitted with a large 4.0-liter V6 engine. Another unique aspect of the FJ Cruiser is the suicide door design, providing easier access to the rear seats. Inside, the FJ Cruiser features off-road ready materials for easy cleanup after hardcore off-road adventures. Slow sales, which never recuperated after the global recession of 2008-2009, were the main reason for its discontinuation. The Japanese are still selling Land Cruisers, but they simply can't be compared to the compact FJ Cruiser. The FJ had that X factor, that something that made it special. Maybe it was the circular headlamps or the overall boxy appearance, but I really wish it was still here. Number 7, the Nissan XTERRA. Nissan killed the XTERRA in 2015, and ever since, fans have begged Nissan to bring back the compact truck-based SUV. The Nissan XTERRA is perhaps best known for its vibrant colors, but real fans will remember the XTERRA for its 4.0-liter V6 engine and go-anywhere attitude. Most of its current or former owners will attest to its indestructibility and capability alike, and there were many who bought it between 1999 and 2015. The XTERRA came in only a 4-door configuration with unique, almost hidden handles to get into the rear seats. While the XTERRA had a Nissan badge, its production, manufacture, and distribution happened solely in the United States. People who love extreme sturdiness and reliability at relatively affordable prices are already missing that SUV. We wouldn't be surprised to see its return, and we certainly wouldn't mind. It was an iconic SUV. Hey, this list has been spot on so far. What do you think? If you're enjoying it, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. Coming in at number 6, it's the Isuzu V-Cross. Now, no one says the V-Cross looks stylish. Instead, people comment on its unique design and point to other aspects of this Isuzu that make it great. For example, the torque-on-demand four-wheel drive system was ahead of its time and allowed the V-Cross more access to off-road adventures than competitors. Now, aside from looks, the V-Cross came with two V6 options, a 3.2-liter and a 3.5-liter. Thanks to the 215 horsepower and the TOD system, the V-Cross was extremely capable on or off the road. Only 5,985 V-Crosses ever made it to production, but it remains one of the coolest discontinued SUVs ever. Splashing in at number 5, it's the GMC TYPHOON. The GMC TYPHOON was always different than the rest of the SUVs marketed at the time. The 2-year-long production between 1991 and 1993 and fewer than 5,000 units produced was not exactly the lifespan you'd wish for a car, but the TYPHOON was actually meant to be limited. Being a special edition vehicle, the TYPHOON's life was naturally short, and there were no particular reasons for its discontinuation other than that. It was a performer, and performance-oriented SUVs weren't really a thing back in the early 90s. They are becoming that now, so GMC has something to think about. It's an expensive process introducing a new SUV to the market, especially a performance-oriented one, but at least they have the name standing ready. The GMC's TYPHOON was the SUV counterpart to the Cyclone and was essentially a performance version of the Jimmy. The TYPHOON featured a 4.3-liter turbocharged V6 that put out 280 horsepower. That was a significant bump in power over a standard Jimmy, which only had 190 horsepower. The TYPHOON could hit 60 miles per hour in 5.3 seconds and sported a top speed of 132 miles per hour with the extra power. Number 4, the JEEPSTER COMMANDO. The JEEPSTER COMMANDO was built to compete directly with the Land Cruiser, Bronco, and International Scout. Unfortunately, it only lasted from 1966 until 1973, but remains one of the coolest SUVs ever. The JEEPSTER COMMANDO came in several models and a variety of engine options. There was even a 210 horsepower AMC V8 available. With a convertible body style, four-wheel drive drivetrain, and military Jeep heritage, the Commando will remain one of the coolest discontinued SUVs ever. It was an upscale version of pure off-road models with a removable hardtop. It also had a small truck bed behind the front seats. The Commando was a practical model that drivers could use for cruising, and it was also good for carrying smaller items for going off-road. Car buyers had a wide selection of engines, from a small inline 4 and 6-cylinder to a V6 or V8 engine, and AMC produced most of the engines because they owned the Jeep brand at the time. Number 3, the Plymouth Trail Duster. The Plymouth Trail Duster was a Dodge Ramcharger companion and Bronco competitor from 1974 to 1981. Despite the short-lived tenure, the Trail Duster had a shorter wheelbase than a truck and a four-wheel drive for off-road capability, which at the time was very popular. The Trail Duster also competed with the International Scout, the Blazer, and naturally, the Ramcharger. It even offered an optional 440 Ci V8 at one point, and was marketed as a comfortable way to explore life off the beaten path. Plymouth was always an economy or muscle car brand. They were dedicated to family cars, small sedans, and two-door coupes. During its history, Plymouth did produce some pickup trucks, but never any SUVs. But Dodge decided to focus on the car market with a series of SUV models, gaining big success in that field. However, in the late 70s, Plymouth decided to try its luck in the off-road SUV market with the Trail Duster. It was a two-door, four-passenger, all-wheel drive vehicle identical to the Dodge Ramcharger SUV, and the Trail Duster was an attractive truck. Basically, it was identical to the Ramcharger, but with different trim and details. Number 2, the Mitsubishi Pajero. The current Mitsubishi SUV lineup is nowhere near that from 10 or 20 years ago. They are, however, heading in the green direction at least. I'll give them that. Regardless, the Mitsubishi Pajero, which is known as the Montero in the States, is still regarded as one of the best vehicles that a Japanese manufacturer has managed to assemble. Of course, the Montero has been gone from the US for over a decade now, being discontinued in 2006, but we haven't forgotten about it. Have you? The Pajero is still alive overseas, where it's still selling better than it ever did in the United States. Incidentally, low sales of 1,609 units in 2006 compared to the 24,802 units in 2001 were exactly the reason for its discontinuation. And in number 1, and quite possibly my favorite version of this vehicle, the International Harvester Scout. Although the International Harvester Scout existed during the 1960s and 70s, it finally met its end in 1980. The Scout would set the stage for modern SUVs and compete directly with the Jeep Cherokee, Ford Bronco, and Chevy Blazer. It came in several trims and models, including the Scout II, perhaps the most famous Scout model. The International Harvester Scout was a competent off-roader with a four-wheel drive standard on most models. Early models even had a fold-down windshield, and some Scouts had removable doors and roofs. Its no-frills, rugged two-door design remain iconic. And that's it for today's video. Which of these SUVs would you like to see return? Tell us in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more great videos just like this. Thanks for watching.